What's up, team? Sean for Us to Live. And I want to do a really quick video here on midterms, markets, the trends we typically see, and why this midterm might be very, very different than anything we've seen in the past, and why that matters for us as investors and traders. So as always, I'm going to jump right in. Please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really do appreciate that. And let's not waste any time. So typically, we get very excited about midterms because midterms can mean big things for the markets. We typically, over many years, have seen stocks outperform after midterm elections. But I think it's important to understand why that normally is the case and whether or not I think that's going to happen this time around. So let's just call it out. In 17 of the last 19 midterms, going back to 1946, the market performed better in the following 6 months after the election than it did in the 6 months leading up to it. Now, you might say to yourself, well, thank goodness, because this current year has been brutal. The previous 6 months, the markets have been a total mess. So if we can look for some sort of forward-looking guidance to help smooth things out or even increase things, that would be great. The problem is we're in a very unique situation right now. I don't want to talk about right versus left or center. I don't care who's running for what office and why. It's not a question of who's going to take over the Senate or the House or who is or isn't going to or what that's going to look like. Those are things that do matter and do typically matter in the past, and for good reason, right? The key is we normally see outperformance that's really driven by an increase in spending from a new Congress, right? Normally, one side will have some ability to take action. The problem is right now, this year, getting that smashing of new funds in doesn't seem like it's really going to happen, okay? We have historic levels of stimulus and spending that have already taken place in response to the pandemic we've been dealing with, right? So one would almost argue that we've actually overdone it and caused a lot of the problems we have here, which in turn is really geared on this 40-year high in inflation, right? So if we do normally see what we normally get, or do normally get what we normally expect, it's going to make things even worse. So, well, that's not going to help, right? So I think the way we have to step back from this is realize that if we're trying to look for trends following the midterms, we're not going to probably have them this time around. We've got a situation of absolutely out of control inflation. We all know this. We have the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia, and whether that should be happening or not isn't for debate, right? Russia's in the wrong. They need to get the hell out of there. But the reality is it's still happening. We have a pandemic that just doesn't seem to want to go away. It just keeps sticking and keeps sticking and keeps sticking. So just those three things alone are a major cause for why I can't put a lot of faith in the cycle as I normally would. So what does this mean, though? Well, depending on your level of expertise and how experienced you are as a trader or an investor, maybe the best thing for a lot of people out there is just to continue doing what you're already doing, keeping cash on the sidelines, waiting it out. Maybe you're a dollar cost averaging into positions. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, for some traders, I probably fall into this bucket more than most. What I'm looking for is bi-directional wins. So I'm looking at key election times. I'm looking to see what announcements are going to be made. I'm trying to understand how this might impact the dollar versus other currencies and what that might mean for bottom lines on earnings. So a lot of times what I'm doing is I'm taking a market neutral position where I'm trying to identify where things are likely to go down versus up, understand the difference between the premiums I'll pay for those options positions, and see if I can net out gains across the board. So I just want to share this as an example that 17 out of 19 years, we knew what was going to happen. It felt pretty darn good about the likelihood of it happening. We are not feeling this way from a macroeconomic perspective this year. And I think that's really, really important. I want to say one more thing here, and I think it's super important. I don't care where you stand on your politics. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care why you believe in it. It's your business, not mine. I would love if you would put vote down below in the comments, even if you're not from the US and you're watching this. Put vote down below because we need more people getting out. We need more people voicing their opinions through their votes. We just need a more active and engaged audience to understand politics are deeper than just the commercials we see on TV and the 15-second sound bites. So team, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate you. And yeah, let's see what happens here. We could have a really exciting midterm or we could have more of the same. I think it's really up in the air. It's going to be exciting to see what happens. So with that, thanks so much. See you again next time and good luck out there.